The number one reason why most people never start a YouTube channel is because it just costs too much money. Or at least they think so. Well, I'm here to tell you that all you need to get started on YouTube making amazing quality videos is $31.93. Or if you're in the UK, a little over £25. I've grown my YouTube channel to well over 1,000 subscribers with this exact same setup, and I'm very confident that you can do the same too. But the biggest problem is you might not know what bits of kit you need to buy, what tech you don't need, and actually where to get all of this stuff. So in this video, I'm going to go over the 4 different things that you need to think about if you want to grow a YouTube channel. As always, the timestamps are on screen and they're in the description below, but that's enough hanging around, and let's get right into the video. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you something that you probably weren't expecting, and that is the most important piece of tech, the most important gear that you can spend money on with your YouTube channel is not a camera, it's actually a microphone. And that's because most people will sit through bad quality video, but they're not likely to stick around if the quality of the audio and what they're hearing isn't very good. Now to show you this, I'm going to show you the difference between using the built-in microphone on my iPhone and using actually this lapel mic here that you can see. So this is how it sounds when I'm speaking without a microphone. And this is me talking with a microphone attached to my shirt. So hopefully it is pretty easy and kind of obvious to tell the difference. And that's why if you're a beginner and trying to get started on YouTube, I can't recommend these little lapel microphones enough because they are so cheap and you can literally just attach it with a little clip here. You put it onto your shirt, whatever you're wearing, and it links up wirelessly onto your phone. And basically from that point, you're good to go. And I'm gonna leave links to all of the things that I talk about down below, just so you can easily find all of this information without having to watch the video again from the start. But this mic is great because it is only $31, which in the world of technology and like filmmaking equipment is super cheap. So the chances are, if you're watching this, you have essentially everything you need if you wanted to start uploading on YouTube now. And I think one of the things that holds people back is thinking that they need a really super high quality, expensive camera to actually start recording themselves. That's just not true. In fact, all of the videos that I've posted so far, some of which have done particularly well, have just been recorded using my iPhone. I think that's pretty amazing. So all you need to start filming yourself is a phone, but there are a few mistakes that are pretty important that you avoid making so that your video quality still looks professional. And the first thing is that you don't want to be recording with kind of the built-in camera app. So the app that I recommend that you guys download is the Rode app. And basically this lets you play around with some more of the settings to make the camera quality look a lot more professional, like you're filming with an actual kind of expensive camera. So the first thing that you want to do when you open this app is change the frame rate down to 24 or 25 frames per second. And that's because usually on most phones, the standard frame rate is 30 frames per second. And why this is important is because 30 frames per second just looks a little bit too smooth and it makes it really obvious that you're filming on a phone. Whereas if we lower that to 24 or 25 frames per second, it just looks a little bit more professional. But another way to make it even more cinematic is to make sure we're recording on 4K. Now, a slight downside of this is that it does mean the file size is a little bit higher, so you're going to be using a bit more storage, but overall the resolution is, you just want to make sure it's on the maximum possible value. So most videos that you see on YouTube, videos that I make, videos that I'm sure many more creators you watch make as well, are a style of video called talking head. And this just means a creator is there, like me, talking to the camera, talking to you guys, and then there'll be like clips and animations, whatever, overlaid. And the mistake that most beginners make is just getting the position of them kind of wrong in the frame. And this is kind of one of the biggest giveaways to kind of someone being a little bit amateur. And there's nothing wrong with this because I started like this. So what you want to make sure is that you're lined up in the center of the frame and your head, I'm sure you can see now, is just brushing underneath the top of the screen. This is where we have a little bit of a problem because we're filming with our phone's back camera. That's another note. You don't want to film with the selfie camera because it's just not as good quality. But obviously from this, we can't actually see how we look in the frame. But there's 2 really easy ways just to solve this. First thing is that you can buy a little cable that connects to your phone, and then you can just link it up to your laptop or your iPad or whatever, and then kind of see how the frame looks on screen. But the second thing you can do, which for most of us is going to be cheap, is just if you have a little handheld mirror lying about. I mean, I've got this one, which I used for the longest time. I would just literally stick it kind of behind my phone and get a view of how I look. And it's just a really kind of cheap cheat's way of getting the framing right. So they're two of the most important tips in terms of building your kind of YouTube setup for cheap. But the next tip is going to be even more important and just take your video quality to the next level. So one of the keys to getting really good footage and kind of a really professional looking video for cheap is making sure that you're getting your lighting right. So one of the keys to getting really professional looking video footage for cheap is making sure that you're filming at the right time of the day. What does that mean? When I'm filming, I make sure that I have kind of a window sort of just off to the side to me, and then that lets a load of light in and kind of hopefully floods the room and makes me look kind of makes the framing and the visuals look quite good, quite appealing. And then as well, any lamps or little lights or like LEDs or whatever you might have just lying around that you bought ages ago, you can kind of play around with in the frame and see how it makes your face look, see how it contributes to the video. So by this point, you now have a pretty good video, hopefully, recorded and ready to go. But what you're going to need to do with it now before uploading to YouTube is, of course, edit all of that footage. And before, this used to cost so much money, but now there's some tools, some pretty amazing software actually out there. That means we can do this totally for free. And surprisingly, this has made editing the cheapest part of a beginner's YouTube setup. So broadly, when it comes to editing your footage for free, you have 3 different options of programs that you can use. You have CapCut, DaVinci Resolve, and iMovie. Now, whichever of the 3 you use, you're going to get on fine. So there's different pros and cons, and actually there's loads and loads of videos out there with people way more qualified than me to talk about the benefits of each of these. What I will say is just pick one, stick with it, try and watch a few YouTube tutorials on how to just do basic things like add text, do transitions, and yeah, add in your footage. And once you've got your footage mostly edited and your video is pretty much sorted and ready to go, you're most likely going to want to add some music. However, a big problem with this and a big problem with new creators is that they're using the wrong kind of music and they're going to copyright strike. And this is really harmful because if you get 3 of these on YouTube, essentially your channel gets shut down, shut down, or you can't earn money from it, or can't post videos. Anyway, you don't want any of these copyright strikes. So you want to be confident that what you're actually using in your videos isn't going to get you a copyright strike. But there are some ways to do this for free. So in terms of music, YouTube actually have a really extensive library of what they call royalty-free music. Yeah, it just means that you can use any of this music in your video and not have to worry about copyright strike. And then if you want to use B-roll, which is kind of those videos and it's the images that you see to explain what the creator is talking about. The best free website for this is Pexels. Yeah, and then you don't have to worry about getting any sort of copyright strikes for this either. But now that you have the ultimate beginner's YouTube setup for, I think, as cheap as you're ever gonna get, you're gonna wanna find a way to earn money from your channel and eventually invest in better gear. And one of the requirements to do this is to hit 1,000 subscribers, but most creators on YouTube never have a chance of doing that because they're making one of these 4 mistakes. So to find out what these mistakes are and actually how you can avoid them, you need to watch this video. So I'll see you all there.